Hello everyone! So today's video is going to be a bit different as I haven't really done this on my channel before, but about a month or so ago I started growing peas. Innocent was sending out free seed packets and they didn't technically specify that they had to be for children, so I got my own little pea kit and I decided I was going to plant some peas. Now at first it was going really well. I planted them in the soil provided and after a few days they started sprouting and then growing and it was beautiful. But the problem was, my house doesn't really get much sun because it kind of blocked on one side with trees and on another with a line of flats, so it's hardly any sun and they started getting a bit brown and withered. But the main problem was that they were in these tiny little pots because they were all I had and I didn't have a bigger pot and I didn't have bigger soil. But yesterday my mother-in-law very kindly gave me a bigger pot and some soil, so today we're going to be repotting my peas and hopefully bringing new life to them. Meet Penelope. When I planted my peas, I had 2 peas in this pot, and they're both called Penelope because I had 2 different pots. The other one is called Peter. Now, as you can see, she's a little floppy and dye-y, so I'm hoping we can do something to change that. I did put in these plastic forks in lieu of anything like a wooden stick to prop them up with, but that doesn't seem to have worked. However, Penelope here has grown a pea pod, and it feels like there is one singular viable pea inside of this. So what I'm hoping I can do is open this, take the pea, and plant this pea to be the new Penelope, as I feel like these, sadly, may not have a chance to live. Like, I'm going to try, but I don't think so. So I'm going to keep Penelope herself in this pot, but I will be planting this pea, and hoping that this one will grow eventually, because there is a pea pod here, but there's no peas inside it by the looks of it, at least not fully grown. So, yeah. Let's, I'm really hoping this is a full-grown pea. I'm sorry, Penelope. Okay, guys. Now, we've got the pea pod. Let's crack it open and see if there is indeed a pea. Okay, I feel like this is a viable pea. It looks fully grown. So I'm gonna hope for the best. We're gonna be planting this here pea in our new pot. Now Peter, my other pea, is very collapsed, but I was able to harvest this pea pod, so let's just crack it open. 3 peas! Okay guys, we've got 3 peas of Peter's to plant. I'm gonna plant 2 of them so that we can actually eat one of Peter's peas. And my pea plants, even if these ones don't grow, will still have technically been a success. So we will plant 2 of these, and we will eat one of these, and hopefully Peter will live on. However, I'm gonna show you the other good news with Peter. So as I said, I planted 2 seeds in each pot. Now this was the main seed, and this was the one that grew. So at first, only one of the peas grew, so I assumed the other one wasn't going to go. But then after about a month, this one sprouted and started growing, so this one hasn't really had time to die. So this one here, of Peter's, is the one that I shall be repotting, very hopefully, and she'll be growing, what I'm hoping, in the new pot relatively happily. And I'm also going to try and find better supports for them. So now it is time for the repotting process. Okay, so I've got my pot ready and I've left Peter's soil dry, so I'm going to take his plastic fork out. And now I'm going to excavate Peter by doing lots of squeezing. There we go. Oh my, Peter is incredibly pot bound. How do I even decide which roots are from the other Peter? Alright, what I'm going to do off camera, guys, I'm going to fiddle with these roots and see if I can figure out which ones are from the old Peter and which ones are from the new Peter. Okay, so I have freed him, but I don't know at what cost, because he had a lot more roots than this, but he was so incredibly root bound, there was no other way. And the other Peter, unfortunately, I don't think there's any coming back from this. But hopefully new Peter will live on, so we've got him ready to plant. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to place Peter here, and then I have some excess soil that I put into a cup so I could cover him up a bit. So we're going to put that around by Peter. This is new Peter. And what I have is something for him to cling on to. So this here stick from a Fab Ice Lolly is going to be Peter's new support. And hopefully he will grow tendrils that will wrap around that and help keep him stable. So I'm just gonna, I don't want to cover too much of his base, so I'm just sort of sprinkling the soil around where he goes, and I'm going to really hope that his roots will grow in this new environment. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to raise the soil level slightly higher, but not too much higher, because we want the other peas to be at about the same height. So there we go. So I'm popping them there. And now it's time to plant the new life from Peter's pod. So we're going to choose 2 of the peas. So I'll take this one here. I'm going to pop it into the soil just here. In fact, I'll put him a bit closer to Peter. Then I'm going to take this one here so that Peter has 2 opportunities to grow. And I'm going to pop him into the soil just here. And then finally, we're going to take Penelope's solitary pea and pop it into the soil just here. And I'm going to get Fab Ice Lolly sticks for all of them, and I'll put the soil on in just a second. Turns out I only had 3 ice lolly sticks, so the other one gets the customary plastic fork. And I'm just going to sprinkle the rest of the soil on top so that it's at a good height for my peas to grow. But I don't want to be too buried into the soil, so I won't put all of the soil in, just enough so that they're covered and they have room to grow their roots. There we go. And now what they need is a good soaking. So I have filled this slithering glass full of water. I'm going to pour it very carefully over the soil because peas like their soil to be nice and moist. I'm just going to pour that, let it soak in a bit, then pour it a bit more. Probably take a while because that soil was very dry, so it needs to soak in all the way down. There we go. I'll just do it liberally, one little bit at a time. There we go, and I can sort of see the soil soaking it in. We don't want to pour it too fast because we don't want it to become waterlogged at the top. So we want to give it a chance to soak down, 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 and promote root growth. There we go. And then hopefully in a week to 10 days, the new peas should sprout, and I'm hoping that Peter's other pea will be doing a lot better than he was in his old container. There we go. And finally, I'm just going to clip a few of the old Peter's leaves to promote better root growth, because if it's trying to provide for less leaves, you should hopefully be able to grow a bit better. So I'm going to get rid of some of these ones at the top. It hurts me to do this because they're healthy leaves, but the less that the roots are providing for, the better it's going to be for Peter to grow. So let's just get rid of some of this foliage. And so there we have it. I have repotted / planted my peas, and hopefully it will be successful. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do give us a like. Drop a comment down below to see if you've been growing any sort of plants or vegetables over this lockdown period. And please subscribe to the channel for more entertaining videos in the future. Bye bye.